Hi everyone, Justin Pate from the Wrap Institute. And in this segment of Wrap Rejuvenation for this flat in Amsterdam, using interior wrapping film from Cover Style, the focus will be on, well, what I'm sitting on, this bench. Now the story behind this bench is this. When my wife and I were talking about what type of chairs to get for this table, she said, you know what, actually instead of getting 4 chairs, 2 on each side, why don't we do 2 chairs on one side and a bench on the other? And I thought, great idea. So we went searching for benches, but not like a normal person does, because we knew that we're going to wrap the bench as opposed to just buy it straight and throw it into the flat. So therefore, we weren't judging on color, we were more looking at shape and even price. So therefore, we found this bench. It was on sale for 75 euros, regularly 150, so it's 50% off, which is cool. The legs matched the table. That's one of the reasons why we got this bench. And another was it had a decent wood, and it was somewhat lacquered on top, so it had a fairly high surface energy, which is important for when you're wrapping. So I thought, you know what, very easy in terms of prep. The legs match the table, which is cool, so let's buy it. So we did. And what's cool is the wood pattern, the wood film that we put on top, came from wrapping the wall. So basically this bench matches the living room wall, which we wrapped with wood, so there's that great continuity in terms of design. So that's the story behind the bench in terms of why we chose this bench. Now let's get into wrapping, and that's the focus of this video. So what I really want you to pay attention to is how I did the corners, very unique in that, and also how I cut out the slats, so great tips and tricks there. So what's great about wrapping a bench and watching this video series is you might be able to learn how to do it yourself. You can hire a professional directly from the Cover Style site, or you can take a workshop at the Cover Style headquarters in Luxembourg. So lots of options in terms of wrapping benches and making them not only great in terms of design, but also great in terms of durability, and you have that freedom in terms of purchase. You can actually purchase cheap and make it look expensive, and that again is the power of Wrap Rejuvenation. So with that, let's get to all those tips and tricks that all come from the Wrap Institute.
And here are the tools you need: squeegee with a buffer, safe box for old blades, a knife, dry erase marker, cover primer, surface cleaner 2, a tool bag to store them in, and also this glove. The first step is to clean. Always spray directly on a paper towel and focus on the edges and the main surface area. Next, apply cover primer. Focus on the underside and on the corners, as well as open edges between the slats. Allow the cover primer to dry for at least 10 minutes, and now it's time for install. Always make sure you cut your piece so you have excess material left to right, top to bottom, and now release the liner roughly 20 centimeters. Crease the liner so it lays extra flat. Now carefully flip the panel over and take a few seconds to double check that it fits left to right, top to bottom. Now take the squeegee, lock it in the middle, and squeegee left and right. This creates a strong hinge that will hold the panel in place. Now slowly release the liner and squeegee at the same time. This will make for a very smooth installation process and keep the film from prematurely tacking on the surface. This means you won't have to pick it back up, so it's straightforward and easy. Now it's time to form the corners, add heat to soften the film, then stretch it evenly to both sides and hook it on the underside of the bench. Do the exact same thing for the other corner, then pinch the top, heat the film, and spread it evenly towards the middle area between the corners. Lock it in with a finger or squeegee, then work the film away on the other side towards the long section. This requires an extra few steps because of the area in between. Once the area around the corners is done, repeat the same steps of pinching the top corner, heat the film, stretch it evenly to the bottom, and try to work in 10 centimeter sections at a time. Now it's time to get the material prepped for the other side, so place it in an area that's easy to access. Then cut the corner out in this special way. Make 2 cuts, and this separates it into 3 sections. Heat the middle piece, then stretch it gently towards the middle. Now, with one side, heat it, form it, and once it lays flat on that middle piece, now it's time to trim a little bit of the excess film right on the edge. Then repeat the exact same steps for the other side. Heat, stretch, flip over, then trim the excess off on the edge. Clicking the blade to make it extra sharp is always a good idea. With the corners set, now trim off the excess film. It's always a good idea to cut the film roughly 1 centimeter on the underside. Here, with the base of the legs, tuck it in, then cut it away. Always be sure to seal the deal with a squeegee. Now for the middle section, heat the film to relax it, squeegee it roughly 2 centimeters past that point, then cut it 1 centimeter from the edge. Remove the excess film carefully and, always, as I mentioned earlier, click your blade so it stays extra sharp. Keep the angle of the blade low and flat to the surface, and make sure this cut is nice and symmetrical for a professional finish. Once the excess film has been removed, now it's time to cut the slats at the top. Always make sure you angle your blade slightly away from the edge so the material lays flush to the top edge. Circle the bottom and the top of this area, then continue the cut on the other side. Once this cut has been completely made, remove the excess film, then trim off any areas that weren't perfectly straight. And with that, here's a shot of the final result. A stunning wrap rejuvenation and upgrade that has great design continuity in the flat since it now matches the living room wall, plus it's very durable and easy to maintain.